Chapter 3566, World Mist, Great Tao Struggle. After confirming with the human emperor that Yuedao City was safe and sound, Lin Moyu immediately set off to return to the eastern continent. Starting from the center of the Boundary Sea, it took him less than a day to enter the territory of the eastern continent. His speed was much faster than before entering the Origin ancestral land, and he didn't use the cloud-piercing sword or the wings of time curse. He relied purely on his physical strength. Brilliant golden light surrounded his body, and space shattered like glass wherever he passed. Blood chi roared within his body, and his 9th level Tao Venerable Realm physical body became his strongest aid. He was still at the 7th level of Tao Venerable Realm, but without using any techniques, he could kill a 9th level ancestor with one punch. This was the power of the power Great Tao. This illusory Great Tao could unleash astonishing power at any time, especially since his power Great Tao was entwined with the power of death, making it even stronger. Now his last weakness had been filled, and his own combat power had reached the peak of Tao Venerable Realm. The gains from this journey were actually enormous, not to mention the power Great Tao or his understanding of the world. Just the Yin-Yang origin alone was something unimaginable. With the Yin-Yang origin in his possession, Lin Moyu could freely use origin techniques without consuming soul power. And he could also allow the skeleton hell to self-repair, although the speed was a bit slow. Most importantly, his large world had begun to evolve towards another level. It was no longer simply a 9th grade large world. If it were an ordinary large world, even at 9th grade, it would still be dependent on the origin continent. The laws, materials, living beings, and cultivators in the large world all relied on the origin continent. If one day the origin continent disappeared, that large world would fall into darkness. It might not perish, but it would certainly have no future path. Now, the large world had its own yin-yang origin, stronger than the two tai-yang and tai-yin origins of the large world. Under the illumination of the yin-yang origin, the large world would continuously evolve, finally leaping from 9th grade to surpass it, becoming a truly independent world separate from the origin continent. As long as there was enough time, the large world could become a world like the origin continent. It would have its own great Taos, its own great Tao realm, its own projection Tao lords. Everything became full of hope. Besides the yin-yang origin, power Great Tao, and understanding of the world, another gain was his innate Great Tao. The undeath Great Tao had also become stronger, reaching the 9th level of Tao Venerable Realm like the power Great Tao. However, this was still just comprehension, not fully transformed into cultivation. It would still take some time. Moreover, Lin Moyu couldn't be impatient. He needed to balance the Great Taos. The 6 Great Taos he cultivated needed to advance together. Now that the power Great Tao had almost taken a step forward, the other Great Taos couldn't remain uneven. Lin Moyu entered the eastern continent and headed straight for the merchant city. He had promised the 3rd ancestor, so he had to fulfill it. As for what to say, he had already thought it through. If the 3rd ancestor asked for more details, he could say more, but he didn't know if the 3rd ancestor would dare to listen. Perhaps, through the 3rd ancestor's words, he could also gather some information. After all, living for so many years wasn't for nothing. The 3rd ancestor must know some secrets. Lin Moyu was already thinking about how to extract information from the 3rd ancestor. After entering the eastern continent, Lin Moyu felt something strange. Some cities from before had undergone significant changes.
How long have I been gone? It feels like it's been a very long time.
In the origin ancestral land, time was chaotic, and Lin Moyu didn't know how long he had been gone. While searching for the Great Tao, he completely forgot about time and didn't care about it at all. He only knew that he should have been gone for quite some time. As he approached the merchant city, Lin Moyu slowed down, then landed and walked in. Just as he entered the merchant city, Lu Jun appeared beside Lin Moyu.
The 3rd ancestor is waiting for you.
Lu Lian showed no emotional fluctuation, her tone extremely calm. Lin Moyu asked,
How long have I been gone?
Lu Lian said,
It's been over 500 years since the origin ancestral land appeared.
Over 500 years. It had been so long? Lin Moyu was also a bit surprised. Perhaps for a Tao venerable 500 years wasn't much. But for him, 500 years wasn't short. After all, how many years had he spent cultivating until now? Calculating now, he was finally over 3,000 years old. A 7th level Tao venerable at over 3,000 years old seemed not bad. Following Lu Lian to the space where the third ancestor was, Lu Lian immediately left. The third ancestor looked Lin Moyu over and asked,
Do you remember everything?
Lin Moyu tossed a jade tablet to the third ancestor.
Some information is in here. If you want to know anything else, you can ask. I'll tell you what I know.
The jade tablet contained some things Lin Moyu thought could be said. It included the general situation of the origin ancestral land, the great Daos inside, why people's memories became chaotic inside, why people died, how to leave, and so on. However, Lin Moyu didn't say how to obtain the Taiyang origin and Tai-In origin. This wasn't really a secret, but many people simply couldn't do it, so knowing wouldn't help. Finally, he didn't say how to enter that unknown realm. Besides himself, basically everyone who went there would die. After the third ancestor read the contents of the jade tablet, he said in a low voice,
Indeed, the origin ancestral land is indeed the beginning of all worlds.
Lin Moyu said,
Wherever the origin ancestral land goes, it casts out Tai-Yang and Tai-In origins. The two great origins evolve into myriad worlds and countless great Daos.
The third ancestor said,
It seems you have a very clear view of this world now.
Lin Moyu said,
Before entering the origin ancestral land, there were indeed many things I didn't understand, but now I've understood a lot.
The third ancestor chuckled.
Let's have a good chat and exchange information, shall we?
Lin Moyu looked at this old fox.
Sure, but you go first.
The third ancestor laughed lightly.
You're really a little fox. All right, then this old man will start. This world.
The third ancestor began to eloquently describe his understanding of the entire world. His understanding differed from Lin Moyu's. Living on the origin continent, although the third ancestor had lived for many years, he had never truly left the origin continent. The farthest place he had been to was probably the soul void and the world mist. However, with his deep understanding of the origin continent, he still made Lin Moyu understand quite a bit. The myriad worlds were filled with mysteries, and various worlds were hidden in the mist. Tao lords would enter the world mist to seek other worlds. Once found, they would try to occupy or destroy that world. For Tao lords, this was a struggle of great Daos, a matter of life and death, with no reason to be discussed. The origin catastrophe of the past was like this. The Tao lords of the heavenly god realm and the black blood realm launched a war against the origin continent. They didn't want to occupy the origin continent, but to destroy it and then refine it. Their purpose was to obtain the power of the great Tao origins in the origin continent, to allow them to advance further. The origin realms in the origin ancestral land were worlds that had been destroyed in the past. After those worlds were destroyed, their core origins would return to the origin ancestral land and become origin realms. Perhaps one day they would have a chance to be revived. So the king of the Boundary Sea once said that origin realms weren't meant to be used like this. But if asked specifically, he might not know how to use them either. Now, Lin Moyu had found the correct way to use origin realms.